Oops, forgot to turn on the auto switch on my feed there. I've got the countdown set up, and then there's a button you can turn on that says automatically switch to the next shot. So this shot here. So good morning, AO. Good morning, Web3. Wake up. Wake up. Got something a little different today. I got the pink. I got the strawberry sugar-free monster this morning. Every now and then I'll take my kids to down the street to the gas station to get breakfast, because every now and then they just like a little something sweet. So they like to have a monster sometimes as well. But today the particular gas station was out of my favorite white monster, so we had to get strawberry. The peach is also good. And apparently, the black can with the green M, they have that in sugar-free now, so maybe I'll give that a try again. I don't like the sugary versions just because the sugar gets like on my teeth and I just don't like it. So yeah, too much information. Anyway, good morning. On to crypto. You guys don't care about Monster Energy drinks. So yeah, Reptar will pop in if he can make it this morning. I don't know if he's going to be here or not, but we are going to get through some news today. Bitcoin did make some good moves yesterday. We're coming up on a key level of resistance. We've got some news from the SEC Chair and some other general crypto news. Bank of America is, you know what? Until Reptar's here, I'm just going to take these off. That's so much better. My Bose headset, AirPods, earphones, whatever, earbuds, whatever. I don't know. I can't talk this morning. I did get them yesterday, but I left them in my wife's car when we went to the gym. So yeah, they're still not here. But if Reptar jumps in, I'll have to put those on so I can hear them. Cool. Hope you're doing good today. Hope you had a good Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. We do have game night tonight. We're back. Reptar did a little something last week, but nothing like our normal game night. Got some Alluvium to talk about. Got some other side to talk about. So we'll be doing that tonight at our game night, 9 p.m. Eastern time in our Discord. Our Discord link is on our channel, on our page, on our YouTube main page, if you want to join. So yeah. Anyway, let's get to the bubbles, my bubbles. Share the screen with you. There's the bubbles. Boop. Bloop. There we go. All right. So you can see we're still green today. Green for the week too. On the weekly, even though we had that big dump over the weekend. This is a 7-day time period. I'll show you. So here's a 7-day time period. Look, on the 7-day, we are still up. At the start of the 7-day, we were here. Let's see if it'll do that. Yeah, 87 up to 93, went down to 84, but we're still up for the week. You can see we're also up for the day from 89 yesterday, from 84 the day before, up to 93.9, which let's talk about the 94,000 level here in a minute. And just a reminder, I'm not a technical analyst. DJ is our technical analyst. I do follow a lot of technical analysis people, Wendy O, Crypto Jeb, Rupert Nolan Crypto, Tim Warren, Raoul Powell, like these guys who do like chart analysis and stuff like that. I follow them and I can repeat what I've learned from them, but I don't do the analysis myself. So take that as our disclaimer. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not even doing technical analysis. What just fell off my screen there out of the top 100? Let me come over here because we're on a delay. 2Z, is that what that was? Yep, it's gone. Watch. You'll see because you're behind what I see on my screen here. So 2Z in the upper right-hand corner of the bubbles. Watch it. All right, I've got the live stream up. And there it goes. It fell out of the top 100. Bye-bye. So we've got stuff up today. Link is still up on the ETF news yesterday. SWE was up. Yesterday was up over 20%. So SWE made a good move. ICP down a little bit. One of the few that's down. Maker is down. I'm not even sure what Sky is. Previously Maker? I'm confused. Does anybody know what that is? Because I don't know. All right, let's see what else we got. Near is up a little bit. What's Near? Oops, come back over here. Haha, made a big bubble. 180. Cool. Not bad. Not great. I mean, everything's still down from all-time highs, which is fine. That would expect. Render's up a little bit. That's what we like to see. I know my XRP is doing okay. H-bar looking good. Got a little bit of H-bar news. If I don't have it up on my Twitter stuff, on my X pages, I will pull it up. ETH doing well, back over 3,000. Good to see. All right, let's go to the general markets for a second. Coin market cap. Let me hit the refresh button. I'm live. I wonder if notifications didn't get out. Normally we have Ice and Mr. Gray here. Let me pop over to the Discord real quick. Toss in the link so we got somebody in here. Somebody just popped in. I got 2 people watching now. Cool. So let's get back here. Close that down. This is why I have multiple screens and not one big, huge screen. Market cap up another 100 billion today, which is great. Seeing as how we went down below 2.9. Fear and greed index is up over 20 for the first time in a few weeks. Bitcoin doing its thing. Let me back up just a bit. So let's see what Bitcoin. Let's dig in a little bit more into Bitcoin here. So you can see here on the hourly, we got all the way up to 93,965 according to CoinMarketCap. So right up here, you can see open, high, low, and close. So the candle opened at, it made it up to the lowest of that particular hour, and then it closed at this. Okay, so that's what all those mean. So right here, we made it up to 93,965. If you watch any of the chart analysis by Crypto Jeb in particular, he does a lot with volume profiles, Fibonacci's, long-term patterns, short-term patterns. Anyway, great technical analysis guy. Go watch his channel if you're interested in that type of stuff and you want to see some numbers. He does give like his type of trading setup and how he trades different strategies. If you're into that, he's a great guy to watch. But he is listed for a couple of weeks now actually almost a month. That 94,000 at first was a key level of support as we were coming down. And then once we broke below 94, it became a major level of resistance. And he marked those out. Let me switch to the daily here. He draws charts, he draws lines and stuff like that. But anyway, he puts a huge resistance right here in the 94 range. You can see kind of some daily candles right in this range. There's also a couple right here at the 96. And then we get into the 100, and we got a psychological level at 100. If you watched his video yesterday, or if you want to go watch his video from yesterday afternoon, he mentions that he thinks we are in a run-up to the 100,000 level, and then he does some Fibonacci retracement analysis that I don't understand. I can just repeat to you that between about 100 and 105, 106 is kind of like a major decision level. Like either at that point, we're either confirmed, like we go down and we confirm the 4-year cycle, which his thesis is, and he'll say this 1,000 times, the trend is your friend until it ends. So the trend of the Bitcoin cycles has been 4-year cycles. And all of this right here, this peak, down, up, or whatever, has played out. The way he lays out his analysis is played out just like the previous 4-year cycles. And so he says, if this is going to play out like the 4-year cycles of old, we should get up somewhere between 100 and 105 and then reject all the way down for a short bear market. If, however, and this is why I like him, he gives you both sides. Like, if it does this, then that means this. It could also do this, and that means that. But he says if we break above and hold above that 105, 106 level, then we have broken the 4-year cycle pattern, the chart analysis technical pattern. And who knows, we may be going to a 5-year cycle. We may be going to a totally different setup. But as I said, his thesis is the trend is your friend until it ends. And so the trend has been 4-year cycles. So he's playing his investments like, given that this current chart is looking just like previous 4-year cycles, he's like, well, maybe it is still a 4-year cycle, unfortunately. We'll see. But numbers that he looks out for is the 94, the 96, the 100, and about 105, 106. If we reject here off of 94, he expects, and I say if we reject, he means in the next 30 to 60 days. If we don't, anywhere between 94 and 106, if we don't get above 106 in the next 30 to 60 days, he's going to view that as confirmation of the 4-year cycle and expect a bear market dip. His numbers, I think, are between 55 and 60,000 for the bottom of this bear market. Just to put those numbers in your heads. Go watch his video if you're interested in that type of stuff. But yeah, so watch for 94. If we can break 94, watch for 100. If we can break 100, watch for 105, 106. How about that? For my repeating someone else's technical analysis. All right, ETH over 3, which is great. XRP at 216. Let's see how far she made it yesterday. Let's go to the hourly because it's easier to see the candles. There we go. Made it up to 221. Not bad if you bought down here on this latest dip. Good for you. I bought some of the last dip, not this latest dip. I just held through that drop. Just trying to add a little more to my bags with my small little Coinbase portfolio. Cool. Let's see if this has changed. We're going to refresh this and see. We do have inflation is down, but the employment numbers, I think, are not great. So we're still looking at 89. Yeah, 89% of a rate cut next Wednesday. It'll be a 25 basis point rate cut because we are currently at 375 to 400, and this will put it at 350, 375. 90% chance that that's going to happen. And as typical, that's usually already baked in. What does January look like? The next one is looking like 65% chance of staying at 350 to 375. Right now, a 27% chance of going down again. And I would imagine this 7.6% chance is just a reflection of it not going down in December and therefore not going down. I don't think they would lower the rate in December and then raise it in January. That doesn't make any sense. What have I got here? I don't remember. Yeah, we already talked about that yesterday. All right, let's move into a little bit of news. Ha! Yeah, I love this from Learning Crypto. What if we've been in a bear market since 2021? What if we're still in the bear market? Ah. This is obviously a logarithmic chart. I mean, you can make the numbers say what you want. This is a log chart of peaks, but just interesting. What if we haven't even come out of the bear market yet? What if it's an extended bear market? That what if? I mean, whatever. Here we go. Some good news here. This is Tom Lee, investment guy. Go watch this. This is his video is presented by All in Crypto there. So if you want to watch it, you can go there. I'm not going to play it for you because you guys are capable of doing that yourself if you want to. But I wanted to point this out. Can I make this where you can see that? There we go. 6 reasons to rally into the year end. The Fed is set to cut in December. Quantitative tightening ended yesterday or the day before. Now we're moving into quantitative easing. So that means money printer go burr. They're going to be adding money into the U.S. markets. Cool. Basic. The U.S. economy remains healthy, and there is pent-up demand. That's an opinion. Okay. Housing has pent-up demand. I guess if you want to say that people who want to buy houses can't buy houses right now because, big financial institutions and foreign countries are buying up real estate in the United States. Okay. Housing demand is pent up because they can't afford to buy. Maybe a stretch there. The government shutdown is over. The blackout in eco data is over. Restoring visibility. The government shutdown is over, but the continuing resolution only lasts till January. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Performance chasing, that's true. We've seen that. Take a look at the gold rush in the last 2 or 3 months. Lots of people buying gold over 4,000 an ounce who wouldn't have bought it under 3,000 an ounce. Lots of people buying Bitcoin over 100,000 who didn't buy it at 16,000. That's how, especially retail, works. Equities oversold in November. Yeah, a lot of stuff was oversold in November. RSI, if you're into that, RSI is at its lowest levels. Cool. Yeah. And December usually finishes strong. But given the deep pullback in November, December could be even stronger. Okay, maybe. Smart guy, does good stuff, does good work. Definitely worth. We talked about it yesterday. Are we in a bear market? Are we going down? Are we in the 4-year cycle, or have we broken the 4-year cycle? And I'm still going to remain optimistic that we are not going into a bear market, that this is a bull market pullback of 30%, which is historically nothing. It happened. We've gone through the charts multiple times. It happened 4 times in the last bull market of greater than 30% pullbacks. All right, Bitcoin news. Stop that. Can I turn that off? I don't want to discuss. I want you off. Paul Atkins discussing the upcoming crypto legislation bill's Clarity Act market structure bill. This is the important quote that I am glad they pulled out. We and the CFTC, that's the commodities group, like the SEC is for securities, CFTC is for commodities. We will be actively working on harmonizing our 2 systems. We will collaborate. So in the past, the two, because they're regulatory bodies, the SEC regulates and enforces the rules for the Securities and Exchange products. The CFTC enforces rules for the commodities and futures. I think that's what the F stands for, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. But they would go to this like turf war about, no, that's our turf. No, this is our stuff. No, we get to regulate that. No, we get to regulate that. Hey, how about you guys, instead of having a pissing match over who's got the, control, how about you work together for the good of the people you're supposed to be working for? How about that? Have you tried that? Have you maybe considered it's not about what you get, but how you make the marketplace safer for me and every other freaking American in this country, instead of oh, let me have more power. How about you do that? So hopefully that'll work. Let's see. I've got another thing on him. Nope. Is that what I'm looking for? Nope. We'll get to that in a second. Nope. We'll talk about Bank of America in a second. Is that the only one I have? Yep, that's the only one I have. Okay. There's multiple. I was looking at multiple of these. So yeah. Okay. So all of that to say, the head of the SEC, the chairman of the SEC, is actively trying to make things better for us. Yay. Good. That's a good thing. I think that's look, I don't mind if big banks and institutions win as long as it's not to the exclusion of the everyday person. We can all win. It's okay. As long as it's not, we're going to make sure the big boys win, but you lose. Look, if we all play by the rules and we all win, great. Are they going to win bigger than me? Sure. That's fine. I don't care. But don't make it so they get to win and I have to lose. That's all I ask. All right, let me move on to Bank of America because I think this is probably my favorite story of the day. And I've got a couple of things on this, and we're going to talk about why it's a big deal. But Bank of America for years was along with all the other guys like JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon and all these jerks saying, no, crypto is a pet rock. It's a scam. It's for money laundering while they're stacking it. But Bank of America, private bank and wealth management. So basically your financial advisors, they are one of the largest in the United States. They manage over $2 trillion of your money. Announced that they will allow advisors to allocate 1% to 4% of their. They'll allow advisors to allow their clients or to advise their clients to invest 1% to 4% in Bitcoin starting in January. Here's the part I want to. This is from their stuff. For investors with strong interest in thematic innovation and comfort with elevated volatility. If you like crypto and you understand that crypto is a very volatile space and it's a risky asset, if you understand that, a modest allocation of 1% to 4% in digital assets could be appropriate. The chief investment officer at the Bank of America private bank. Our guidance emphasizes regulated vehicles, thoughtful allocation, and clear understanding of both the opportunities and the risks. So they are saying now that we're getting crypto products, ETFs, they are going to start allowing, isn't that great? They will allow you to put your money into crypto investments. Oh, thank you, sir, for letting me do what I want with my own money. Jerks. All right. Bank of America recommends up to 4% crypto allocation. This is from at _DT777. Nyla Maxey. Cool. Thanks, Nyla. And Nyla here is giving credit to Decrypt Media. Ethereum whales bought the dip. Market rebounds. Large Ethereum holders resume their buying activity. Grayscale debuts their first Chainlink ETF. Right? We talked about that yesterday. Chainlink ETF, finally. Sony's got a chain that they're working on. Opera and CELO stable coins. Cool. But yeah, 4%. So we talked about, just as I go on the other slide, Bank of America, private bank and investments, wealth management, whatever. They're a $2 trillion company, right? They have $2 trillion asset under management. Let's see, 2 trillion times 4%. What is that? 80 billion. My zero is right there because 8 billion would be 40%, right? No. 800. 800 times. Somebody help me out with the math here. Because a little slow this morning. Yep. 80 billion. they're recommending 1 to 4%. So if 4% of their assets under management went into Bitcoin or crypto ETFs, that would be $80 billion going into crypto investments. That's good. However, let me see if I have this other post up. Where's the chart? I didn't save it. Okay. The XRP ETFs inflows this week were 289 billion. Yay. No, I'm sorry, 289 million. I don't want to misquote the thing there. All right. We talked about MicroStrategy, and I found out something interesting yesterday as I was just, reading and studying. So Monday lows, when it went down to 84, and everybody's like, oh no, when does MicroStrategies have to sell? Well, they're back up 20% from Monday. And they were like 84,000 is still up for them. It's not up nearly as nicely as 125,000, but 84,000 is still up for MicroStrategy. Now they're up at 93. And I found this out. There was a big panic over the weekend, and maybe that had something to do with the crash, including in addition to the Japanese carry trade stuff. Apparently, Saylor put out, and Reptar talked about this, what if we start putting green dots on our buy chart or whatever? And I was like, oh no, he's going to sell Bitcoin to buy USDT. Doing a little research yesterday, here's what I found out. MicroStrategies, the company, or Strategy is what they're called now, but they didn't sell any Bitcoin, but they did put on their books over $1 billion, I think $1.2 billion in cash, so that they can pay out dividends without selling Bitcoin. They're going to be just fine even if Bitcoin drops down into the 60s. You know what they're going to be doing if Bitcoin drops down into the 60s? They're going to be lowering their cost by buying more Bitcoin. I think the number is 640,000 Bitcoin now that they own. So they bought a little more Bitcoin, but they also put, and this is the green dots I believe Saylor was hinting at. They put $1.2 billion on their books so that they could pay out dividends without having to sell Bitcoin. They'll be all right. And then finally, this is what I've got for you from Toby Cunningham, Sir Crypto Tips, part of the duo that is... Where'd they go? Oh, I already closed them. I did. So anyway, Toby and Heidi, part of Crypto Tips. Bull trap, bear trap, who cares? Buy when people are miserable and sell when they're overly happy. So that's an interesting thing to look at. And I encourage you to do it. If you just go look at the fear and greed index, and we only, it doesn't last for very long, but you can extrapolate some fear and greed index based on the charts, because fear and greed index only goes back to 2021, I believe. What would happen if you bought Bitcoin when people were max fearful and you sold it when they were in the euphoria stage? Right? What if you bought and sold based on this? We're in extreme fear. So let me scroll down just a little bit. Can I pop this out? I cannot. All right. So here's extreme fear. And the price was 86,000. Let's go back a little bit. This is all time. All right. Let me just use this for I wish I could pop that out. Let me just use this for an example. This was 25. Gosh, I want a longer time frame. So you buy here. Fear and greed index is 34. That's just fear. That's not even extreme fear. Okay, and you can see the gray line there is the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin price at the time was 25,000. And you sell here at, that's the highest point, 89. Bitcoin price, 71,000. That's almost a 3x. And then you take that, you hold your 71,000, you bought one Bitcoin, and you come down here. And you can't see because my face is in the way. Let me move that. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Stop it. Oh, we're just going to have to deal with it. Can I slide you over here? Whatever. Now you don't see me. All right. So you sold here at, your extreme. Oh, wait. Which one? Yeah, I did use that one. All right. So we went from 25 to 71. You buy it again down here at fear and greed index of 26 at 53. You go over here to the fear and greed index at 87 and you sell it at 100. You see what happens here? If you just, morning Scorch, you see what happens if you just sell when we're down. So you sell here at 18, at 81. We go back up. We're not even in extreme greed. We're just at 73 and 109. You went up 28,000. And you buy here at, that's not even, that's neutral. Let's go down to here. So we buy here at 84, down here at the bottom when we went all the way to 6. Yeah. I don't know. It's some good analysis to do if you feel like really digging into it. What happens if you just buy at the bottom of the fear or into extreme fear and you just sell at the greed or extreme greed? No other analysis needed. What happens if you do that? I bet you win. I bet you win. All right, ladies, gentlemen, pink and purple dragons. Did I say no pink dragons? One of my favorite Disney movies ever. Scorch, thanks for being here. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Reptar had some family stuff pop up. I wasn't sure if he's going to be able to pop it or not. But I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. I hope we see you tonight at game night. And I hope you are not freaking out about the crypto charts. We don't give financial advice, but here's what I do. I don't buy any crypto with any money that I can't afford to just throw down the toilet. Now, like, affording to throw down the toilet and wanting to throw down the toilet, two totally different things. But don't put any money into crypto that you cannot afford to lose or let it sit for years. We've talked about it many times, but if you bought the tippy top of the previous, if you bought one Bitcoin at the tippy top of the last 3 runs, you bought one each time, just one. So you would have a total of 3 Bitcoin. You would still be up today. Even when Bitcoin dropped to 84,000, you would still be up almost 2x on your average price. So just hold it. If you can't afford to hold it through the downtimes, don't buy it. If you're going to need that money, don't buy Bitcoin because Bitcoin can go down. Don't buy crypto. Crypto can go down. That's absolutely right, Scorch. Stack when low and hold when going up. Maybe if you feel like it, do the fear and greed, and just trade the fear and greed. When we're in deep fear, buy a little. When we're in extreme greed, sell it. Profit. See if that works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I think it would. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Have a great Wednesday. Keep an eye on the news, or we'll keep an eye on the news and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But see you tonight at game night, and we are out of here. It is time for Chompy and Scorch. We got gaming news tonight at game night. Chomp, chomp.